Has we already touched the peak? Can we buy more Bitcoin? Maybe there is a surprise coming very, very soon. Welcome to ymchannel. This channel is about trading strategy, money mindset to help you make more, learn more. Click like, subscribe, share with your friend. Now we look at BTC monthly chart. So before I go into my indicator, I want you to look at this pattern and compare with the RSI because it's the easiest free way for you to understand what is going on with this stock. So when we look at this graph, this is monthly chart, you can see the curve, the BTC, the Bitcoin, the curve is like this. It's getting flat. By the way, this range, I click the button, you can choose log. Then you can see in scale, okay? Because it's quite a while and it's quite a big range. And you can see the curve is like this. It means each cycle, the yield is less than before. The percentage is much less than the first cycle, and the second cycle is less than the first. The third one is less than the second one. And now we are here. We will produce a less yield than before. No matter what Trump say about Bitcoin, no matter the ETF thing, it doesn't matter because one thing did not change for Bitcoin, which is the RSI. I want you to look at the RSI. This is monthly chart RSI. I was hoping maybe the ETF thing can have a change for the pattern, but actually it didn't. When we link up the top two and you extend the line, basically you can see we're not yet touching this blue line yet, but the blue line is going downward. What does it mean? It means there's a big divergence. This is a monthly chart. From the beginning of the market, basically they have a big divergence. And every time when they hit the top, basically it's the market cycle top. Okay? Basically, we're near the top zone, the top zone. So when they touch the top, we are not yet touching the top. Although this small free mountain here, they do have kind of a divergence less compared to this. Okay, it's very similar, the slope. So another thing I want you to look at the RSI is if you use this black line, okay, this black line is around 65.72 this level. And basically, if you do here, you can see every time when they touch this black line, this serves as a very important support and resistance. It back to 213. And then they touch again to 16 June and touch again here to 16 November and touch again to 18 and here and here and here. Oh, sorry. And then if you can see right now what is going on right now, we are approaching to this support. You can see it's very clear. It's very clear we're approaching to this support and hopefully we serve as a support and go up again. This is a traditional method. If you use my method, I want to show you something for monthly chart to see how to tell where are we now. Are we close to the peak or are we still at the beginning of the bull market? So first thing we notice, every single time this red line is YM Club fast, this is a fast track line for the trend line. This is super fast, okay? So they happen after the peak. You see the peak and this will happen going down. When it's going downward, we don't hold any coins. We don't hold any stock. When the peak happen, after the peak, when this change the direction, it means from upward trend, now we start to enter the downward trend chain. Okay? And same thing happened here. The peak, this is the real peak, not the first one. Why? Because the red did not change the direction until the second one. Although this is double peak, but the second one is a real peak. And then they start to change trend. So far, we are not yet changed the trend. So there's no sense to tell us, hey, this is a peak. Okay, the peak already passed because I met one of my trader friend. He worked for one of the biggest institution, famous one, very famous one. And then he told me the top is already in from last year. But I told him not yet because of this. We don't have any evidence. I need to tell you, there's no evidence telling you it is the peak. And you can see the money trend. The money trend, let's say when we enlarge it, when we around the top here, when we are around the peak here, you see the money, they need to go downward to confirm the trend. They need to go downward to confirm the trend. Look, and the best, you see, even they start to change the red line. If you want really fast, when they have the yellow signal here, and they have the red is the net sell, is the big volume is net selling. They're selling, okay? And then there is the peak. And the second one, same thing happened. The yellow happened, and then the red happened. Basically, at the same time, they drop below the red, you sell. Okay, this is the directions, right? The price is flat. The money coming in is much less than before. Okay, and now what is going on right now? If we look 214, we have kind of like a free peak, like higher, higher, higher. But if you look at the money is lower, lower, and lower. No matter the ETF, no matter the Trump, no matter whatever, the buying is less. So this is something you need to pay attention when we entering the peak. Okay, although we're not yet there, but you still see we have divergence already. It means we are very close. We are very close. The first thing, the monthly chart, we are very close to the peak, not yet peak yet. And then another thing I want you to check is the daily chart. The daily chart, if you use my in 1 second, there's a bit too much information going on. I want you to check is ignore the red because I don't want you to be a fast trader for Bitcoin. And we look at the purple line here. The purple line is a super long-term trend line. Although we are going downward a bit, but we do fresh a lot of green chips here. YM chip entry tell you the institution buying. It usually happen at the relative low. You always hear me mention that, especially at the bottom. When it's at the very big bottom, it fresh on weekly chart and monthly chart. For example, here, weekly chart, you fresh here, you fresh here, you fresh here, you fresh here. Okay, recently we don't have because we are not the big bottom. Okay, we are opposite. But if we look at daily chart, how come they still fresh a bunch of green here? It's not one, it's a lot. What does it mean when it happen at almost the top of the stock? It means it's not only one institution inside this market. So it means some institution is buying, some are selling because it's big volume trade, okay? So it's not just buying. It happened like institution A selling, institution B buying. In this kind of market, it tends to be fluctuated. And in my last video about Bitcoin, basically I'm also mentioned in our weekly chart in history, when we are not yet close to the peak, but a few couple of months before the peak, we will fresh the green candle. And I'm going to explain you why. Why is that? Why they take the risk to enter now, okay? If you look at the monthly chart, we look back, let's say, okay, we look back here. You can understand each market cycle, they do a U-turn, all right? They hit the pure peak, and the last few months before the peak, the slope is extremely steep. It means the yield is very fast within this range. So if you click the YM Club Fast, you can see the slope of this red line. The last couple of months is going almost vertical. Here, here. And now we are here. We're not yet entering, but I think we are very soon. Why? Because by history, the top, the peak, it happened, this one happened in November. This one happened in December 1st. And this one is the second one, is October 1st. And now we are now in mid-October. Okay? So it could happen. It means, hey, we can enter the last speed up area. That's why in daily chart, you happen to have institution come in. Why? Because it's the easiest, faster money ever. Another thing I want you to look at is quite a lot of information. So you better to click like because it's a lot of homework for me to do. Another thing I want you to look at is to compare the yellow candle. The yellow candle is YMOBOS. Yellow is overbought. The first cycle, the yellow is continuously going up. The second cycle is continuous and you stay above the red, the second market, right? It's very clear. And the third market, the double top, we have a broken pattern for the yellow candle. You see the yellow candle, they broken, they come back down, and then they go up again. They flash another yellow. Now, this cycle, okay, yellow, they drop below the red, but the red still going up, and they disappear, the yellow candle. They go on with the yellow candle, disappear. They go on the yellow candle, and now they disappear again. So what does it mean? It means our market, and even the drop below the red, okay? The first cycle, this cycle, and this cycle, they did not drop below the red before the peak. They did not, they stay above. This one, they drop one time, and this time they drop two times before the peak, okay? I mean, during the yellow, they drop two times, this one and this circle, they drop two times before the um before the peak. It means this one is not strong as the previous market. I told you before, when the candle they drop below the red, you reduce. Why? Because it means it's weaker. It's not even following above the trend. It's dropping below. And this is drop below. This one has dropped below two times. Okay? So although those two times is one of our opportunity to buy, but I want you to understand the strength of this market. This time, each time they have different indicator telling you the market strength is less and less and less. Okay, but I don't mean this one has no profit. I still have Bitcoin myself, so it still means the what I mean is the expectation. You don't expect to get the same percentage like the first market, the first cycle, the second cycle, the first cycle. It will be less. It will be less, but still it's profitable, especially this coming few months. My own prediction, since the Bitcoin is quite following the market structure, my prediction would be the peak should be end this year. And now we are October, so we have October, November, December. Should be within these 3 months, okay? You will have a very speed up the process. Why? How to speed up, how to push up the stock and coins is the money, right? Remember? So the daily chart already, we have money down here. We have money down here. And now look at the trend. We just need to push up the trend. The blue line already since, okay, let me hide this and hide this for you. When we have the blue line downward, it's very 100% common when the downward blue line, when everyone is selling, the trend is downward, this will happen because they buy at the relative low, remember? So they have to buy when the market is not so strong. They have to buy when the blue line is going downward. And the best when they're getting weak. So they buy here, and now we're going up, we're going down again. They try to flush the people out. And they go up again, now go down again. But if you look at the blue line, basically we did change our trend to upward. We did. Okay, so it is a very good news. We just need to stay above the blue line and the purple line. And then they will change upward. And this one will be the last push for the Bitcoin. And I hope you like this video. And if you want to see more about very, very update for the Bitcoin when they hit the peak, you better to have your own strategy, or you have to click like and subscribe to my channel. And the best, of course, you have the indicator. You buy the indicator bundle so you can see what is going on with the chart. Otherwise, you get so panicked. Let's say you have my indicator bundle, right? You probably reduce your holding around here, 120,000, because they drop below the blue, they drop below the purple. And if we look at the institution holding, they're also doing some reducing when they are hitting this point. And they do flash a scary big volume candle here. Okay, this red candle is a red candle, so it means it's basically the closing price is lower than the opening price, and this means it could be the high point also. But with my indicator, you understand this is not the high point because institution is buying. Okay, this is not something I believe. This is the fact. I'm going to tell you what's the fact telling you. Just something be aware is it would be quite frustrating to flush the individual out because they are buying at the relative high price, and which means some institutions selling, some institution they are buying, and this will cause some fluctuation of the market. So this is my insights from the chart, and I hope you like it, and give me a comment below, and I see you in the next video. And I wish you guys have a good week and very close to the financial freedom. See you next time. Bye bye. Oh, click like if you want financial freedom. Okay, see you. Bye.